pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay, item 2A, consider and/or recommend action with regard to a $300 stipend of bus drivers MTM route. Mr. Chevalier.
Yes, currently we have 8 MTM routes. And if you look at the picture in front of you, we have 3 Brobridge to Cecilia routes, Brobridge to Parks, St. Martinville to Parks. Many of the veteran drivers do not want to be on that route, and inexperienced, brand new drivers coming in, we normally put them on that route because there's no one else that wants to be on the route. So those routes, they are long, and we're just having issues. We did lose 3 drivers, I want to say from the beginning of the year due to the route. So we're thinking some type of incentive since they're going from one school attendance zone to another.
Do these bus drivers exceed their hours?
No, I think they're pretty close, and they're, I'm sure, longer than any other route.
So the main problem from what I'm seeing here is behavior management.
Yeah, we have a behavior issue. Sometimes is due to inexperienced drivers, and if we have some type of incentive, we're hoping that we could get more veteran drivers that would like to get on this route, which it should help out with management and just stability on the bus.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you have 2 MTM bus drivers that's leaving?
No, we have 3 that started the year off, and they're no longer with us in the district because they just had too many issues on the road.
So that's 3. So are their buses included in this?
Yes, ma'am.
Which buses would that be?
We have right now, we have 392 that lost 2 drivers, 320. Let's see.
320?
Not 320, I'm sorry. 339. That bus. 339.
Okay.
Then we had one driver on the bus prior to him that's no longer with us, and right now he's part-time. He can only drive in irons because he decided to pick up another route with his second job because the route was still.
Okay. So then we have another bus driver taking that place?
No, right now we
You're looking for somebody?
So.
Okay. So that's just one you're looking for, or 2?
I would say 1, but we did hear anytime we have a bid, those drivers will definitely try to get off the route because it's not as equivalent to the other routes.
So this stipend that you're asking for, that's an additional pay to what it had already, right?
Correct. It would be $300 a month.
And that's coming out the general fund, Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, Mr. Peterson.
How many drivers do you have on the NPMs that are retired?
I think maybe one.
That's all?
Anybody else have
That's
any questions?
retired, like working, or,
They retired from the school board, they're getting a retirement check,
oh,
they're
you have
working.
2, Raymond Lee and Jeanette Mitchell, huh?
I'm not supposed to say that.
He's on the big one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Anybody else have any more questions?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Poche, second by Mr. Dojero.
I'd like to make a substitute motion, just to, pay this supplement through the end of this fiscal year and then come back and revisit. Just maybe, instead of doing it right now and keeping it permanent, maybe just do it to the end of the school year, come back, revisit it, see how it worked out.
See if it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You
then
wanna wait for that leapfrog to start?
I would like to see the leapfrog come in first, me personally.
He was.
Well, if it's like an emergency, like if we don't have any drivers, we'd have to source it out and it'll cost you twice as much as we paying with the $300 extra.
Yeah, we should be able to be saved next year.
No,
No, no, no.
Okay, what's your
You
motion?
will, because you're not gonna be able to afford it.
You'll be out of these things.
What's your motion?
I was gonna say, make a substitute motion to, pay this till
The end of
the end
the
of the school year, May.
fiscal year.
Fiscal,
And then we
May.
come back and address it again.
Come back and address it.
Motion by Mr.
I
Abraham,
withdraw my motion and
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Fusilier. Let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2B, consider and or recommend action with regard to approving job description and salary schedule for sales tax administrator and transportation manager. Mr. Wood.
Yes, if you look at your package, we, Julie and Ms. Casey, revised the job description, for the sales tax administrator to include some of the duties, that were, under the transportation manager. And our recommendation is that we, approve the job description, so that, the staff member that we are inquiring about taking that position will be able to do those two positions. And as you'll see later on with the elimination of a transportation manager position for the district.
I'd like to make a motion to table it, because I'd like to see what the leapfrog comes in and does. And I think all the board members need to look at the salary, what it's gonna be also.
Mark, before you do that, I was gonna ask that we go to executive session because I have some things that we probably need to discuss. Unless you wanna wait till that moment.
What years of experience with this individual that are this?
4.
4 years.
4.
Okay, I second, David.
Table.
Okay, table, motion to table it. See, we can look over everything by Mr. Abear, second by Mr. Poche. Let's vote. Okay, motion passed. Item 2C, general fund monthly budget to actual comparison.
No action needed on that.
And 2D, update on the progress of unresolved audit findings. Mr. Rousseau.
No action on that either. The only unresolved one is the one that we're still collecting funds for, and we did get notification this month that that person is switching jobs, so we didn't receive a payment, so there's no updated payment schedule this month.
Okay. Item 3A, consider and or recommend action with regard to $500 incentive for timesheet employees. Ms. Vital.
The last time we said we were gonna discuss it, and I think we used the wrong terminology. We said supplement, but it really was incentive. It's like a one-time. And that's for the employees that's making 20 hours a week. It's not continuous having them it's a one-time deal. And those certified tutors, I was a certified tutor. And it's just like planning lessons for children that's weak in certain skills. And then we help them with that, and I help them for the LEAP test. That's what certified tutors are all about. And those sometimes are the retired teachers that comes into school and help the student. And to show our appreciation, we could at least give them a one-time incentive donation.
Last meeting it was 250, this meeting you bumped it to 500.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
It's only 12 employees, I think, on the timesheet.
I can't confirm that.
we
Because
get
we
it.
have over 100 employees that we pay on timesheet, so it would have to, excuse me,
we'd have to.
without knowing what criteria you're talking about, I don't know.
I'm talking about
These employees that's on time sheet, most of them work the average of 20 hours or more.
and some work.
We have them, we have some that work 5, 20, 30, it just depends. There's a range of jobs that are paid on a timesheet. You have COE workers, you have tutors, you have various types of things that are paid on a timesheet. So there's no consistency when you say a timesheet employee is the issue that I have.
Now, in this case, if we had to do it, could we prorate it, say, an average individual works 20 hours, gets 500. An individual that works 10 hours per week would probably get half of this.
I mean, absolutely, but you're, again, like I stated last month, it is a payroll nightmare because I just said we pay over 100 people. So then also, some work every month, some don't work every month. So how do you then determine that? And then again, like I said this is a full-time benefit. Every job pays full-time benefits. Part-timers are not entitled to benefits, and there's a reason. If you do it this one time, every time we give a supplement, they're gonna expect it. That's what happens. It snowballs and it opens up a can of worms, so.
We told them that was a one time.
A one-time deal, just like we did it for December.
Okay, anybody else have anything to say?
It's a one time and next year, somebody else got to fight it.
Exactly, well, no, again, it's gonna come back again next year and the next year.
It's-
They still come to work.
It's to know how many.
But that's what, they're getting paid to be tutors though, that's the thing.
Right, just like the bus drivers are getting paid to be bus drivers.
Right, but I mean, any company you go to, you have
There's a lot
full-time
of our former
benefits.
employees that are doing this, that are helping us out a lot.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
got
Right, but they're helping us out in a capacity and they're getting paid for it as a part-time employee.
We know that.
Benefits are reserved for your full-time employees. I mean, that's just a common thing. That's not a school board thing. That's a common thing with any company that, you know, people are hired part-time and with the understanding that they get paid for hours worked.
We have a motion on the floor.
We just want to show our appreciation of what they're doing for our students and helping the teachers. Because we have some students that's weak in certain areas. And the teachers would refer them to the tutor. I was a tutor in Lafayette at Barranco. And they appreciate us. So that made me have courage to go back to them next year. It was a one-time deal we had. We can't do that in St. Louis Parish. I would love to work in St. Louis Parish because I was a school board. I could not work. So I know how they're feeling. And if you retire, any little incentive would help you. And y'all gonna retire one day and y'all might wanna go back and work in the school.
They're getting a retirement check and a check from
I have a
us.
question on the floor. Somebody made a motion?
You made motion?
No, they have a question, somebody call for the vote. Who might say call for the vote?
I didn't,
I thought that y'all made a motion.
Yeah.
nobody made a motion.
No motion?
You gotta make a motion. How we gonna-
Okay, I have a
We got a
motion by
motion.
Ms. McCall, second by Ms. Johnson. Let's vote.
One time.
Yeah, one time.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much.
Everybody
It's
vote.
one for.
Everybody vote.
Who did, Richard?
I voted.
Did you come here?
You're not coming on.
I only one vote. You? You voted,
Richard just said.
you voted yes?
Yes.
Because it. I voted yes.
More than 100 vote.
Huh?
Yes.
Man, it-
No, how
What
many
you put
voted?
on,
Yes
just
or no?
say it. Yes or no?
Get it, Joe.
You said
He
yes.
said yes.
No,
So
is
everybody-
this is just a one-time
One
deal.
time.
One time.
For what employees and how much?
$500.
We're gonna have to specify.
So if an employee worked on a timesheet for 1 month this year, they get $500?
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You need to give me stipulations on how we're paying this.
Just,
You voted already?
the tutor,
The tutor, the certified
certified
tutor,
tutor.
the certified tutor.
Watch it.
Thank you.
How's that gonna work out?
I have no idea, but it's gonna create,
Mr. Dodger wants a clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I'd like a clarification on, is it just tutors or is it everybody?
Tutors, certified tutors,
They,
that take the children, the teacher, send the children, that's weak in a certain skill, and they teach and work with the students.
so it's just two certified tutors.
Yes.
But how are you gonna, different.
that's what I'm asking Miss Tiffany. I mean, I don't know that from the way that we
The
pay
ones
them
that
in
make
payroll.
20 hours a week.
Those are high dosage tutors and they are retired teachers.
Yes,
They're paid under a grant.
yes.
So this money's coming out of a grant?
No, this is coming from your sales tax money.
I mean, the incentive.
Good job, okay. I know we had a vote. But I wasn't on whether it's- somebody from the prevailing side needs to make a motion to table it, have them get with staff and exactly give the board members an exact number of how many employees we deal with.
I thought we went through that.
Well, apparently we didn't because we got so many
Y'all
different.
voted for it.
She's saying 12, she's saying possibly more. Some people are saying for 5 hours, some people are saying for
No, we
20 hours.
say 20 hours.
So there's a minimum of 20 hours.
That's it.
But it's only the high dosage tutors that are getting it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question about that, because Miss Ida is a professional tutor, and she works for more than 29 hours a week. And she has been with us for years, and we can't afford to.
So she would get it because she's certified. She is certified teacher.
Absolutely.
So she gets it.
Return to work.
Yes.
And she works with our English learner program,
Okay.
and only have 3 people who work with that program.
But Ida is certified, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
And the other two were,
One is a paraprofessional who just started, she's-
okay,
and the other one is a professional.
yeah. So we said the certified tutors, the teachers.
But Miss Ida will fall under that.
Yeah, she falls under that. Okay. She's been with us, I know that. Okay.
Certified 20 hours.
So a certified teacher with a minimum of 20 hours
Yes,
or maximum of 29 hours?
yes, yeah, minimum of 20 hours,
Can we record it?
maximum of 29 hours. Those are the ones.
You say you think you should,
I'm sorry.
you say you think you should.
Attorney Blanc.
You don't want to turn stipulated.
Now, what it is, we can have Casey come back to the board next month with some numbers. And we'll go from there.
It will, but you have to, you see, I can't do that because I wasn't on the prevailing side. You would have to take that.
So
And that's what we should do.
it's 20 hours, 29.
Make a motion.
Make a motion.
Okay.
20 hours and what?
I mean, 20 hours and 29 max,
Okay, she made a motion.
yes.
You heard that, Ms. Casey?
But there's different,
I'd like to make a motion to table it till next month. So it's too much decision.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean, just get some,
we have a substitute motion to table this and get everything in writing and clarify everything before we vote on it.
It would take 2/3 vote to table motion.
Good, let's see what you can do. Okay. We have a second?
No second.
Okay, let's vote.
Okay, I'll vote for it because,
for clarification.
Just to clear.
Yes.
Okay, we'll table, motion to table, voted on. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Coffey,
One second.
second by Mr. Peters.
I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes, Mr. Champagne, would like to hand out some brochures.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll start.
Yes, he had just stepped out. He's gonna say he's gonna be right back and he wanted to hand him out. Sam's and Walmart are no longer, they might still, as far as, still have Walmart.
Thank you, sir. How you doing? Good.
Right. See, you gotta go to the store shop and be able to change that. I mean, that's the only way to. I have research. So when you see sending them the stamp on the blank check that they have to do your road specified, it's better than sending them on credit card. You don't think that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is right. This was not a PC. This was a Sam from Walmart. So Walmart did away with me. Walmart went to a new system that we have to pay one by that changed. Walmart. And then Sam now will be check from regular. I monitoring so that's why. Like Sam's isn't. Which yeah, that's why I went to check. I'm giving the economy to do it. There's one person. You go do all of the same shopping. Right, I mean, oh, yeah.
Meeting is now come to order for February 4th, for the regular scheduled board meeting. We'd like everybody to please rise and stand for prayer and pledge of allegiance led by Superintendent Wills.
I just want to make a comment briefly, quick. You know, things are going so bad with this presidency, we need to pray for him. Because partner, something is definitely wrong with that man, he's sick.
Come on, Rich.
I gotta say what I gotta say. Bite my tongue, man.
Heavenly Father, please guide us and bless our endeavors today. Please help guide our decisions and let them be in the best interest of our students and staff. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We don't talk about you, Lauren.
Hey, you talking about me?
No, not you. Everybody, you talking about you.
Hey, we'll leave this one. First item up is announcement and acclamation.
Yes, Mr. President, and this time I'd like to have Ms. Tiffany Francis, our Director of Instruction, to come up so that we can announce our support persons of the year. Let me begin by first saying how proud I am of each and every one of you for being nominated by your schools. But also, I need you to understand that regardless of the position that you carry at the school, the work that you do and the support that you give our kids and the adults as well on a daily basis is very, very important to the daily operations of our school system. We could not be successful without the work that you do on a daily basis, whether the role that you play is big or small. Don't ever for a second think that you don't make an impact on the children that you serve, the entire school system. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the work that you do. You are greatly appreciated, and I'm glad that you are here so that we can honor you along with the board.
Absolutely. I echo Mr. Wills' sentiments. The schools could absolutely not run with this support personnel, and I am greatly honored to be able to announce your names this evening of our school level winners and also our district level winners. Congratulations to Grove Ridge Primary, Ms. Shawnette O'Neill. When you call your name, come up, get your plaque, and take a picture. Not with me. Grove Ridge Elementary, Ms. Leslie Wilkes.
Congratulations.
Grove Ridge Junior High, Latricia Large. Grove Ridge High School, Megan Seneca. Okay. Tesh Elementary, Henry and Lizette.
All right.
Cecilia High School, Colette Taylor. Parks Primary, Nikki Mormont. Parks Middle School, Tracy Simon.
How you doing?
St. Martin Early STEAM Academy, Jesse Handy. Jesse Handy, I'm sorry.
I'm nervous. All right, congrats.
St. Martin STEAM Academy, Tasha Scheck-Snyder. St. Martinville Junior High, Christine Nephew. College and Career Readiness Center, Tina Menard. Who's not here. And now I'd like to announce our district winners at each level. For our primary level, congratulations to Megan Huwald at grade primary. At the middle school level, congratulations to Rachel Sylvester. And at the high school level, congratulations to Nana Dory at St. Martinville. firsthand the dedication they have and the contributions they make to our district. Congratulations to all of you.
Any board member would like to offer some words?
I'd like to say congratulations to everybody, doing a great job. Thank y'all.
And we couldn't do it without y'all because you're the backbone. I know there's a lot of debate on different things, but keep up the good work and we appreciate it. Okay, next item.
Thank y'all for all what y'all do for the school. Some of you, I've been knowing y'all. Good job.
Okay, next item is Southern Scripts.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to recognize our Southern Scripts employee of the month, third grade teacher at St. Martin's STEAM Academy, Ms. Brandy Bork. And I'll go ahead and I'll let Ms. Pete read what she wrote to recognize Ms. Brandy.
So I wrote, Miss Brandy Bork is described as the quiet storm within the halls of SMSA. While she may not be the loudest voice in the room, her presence is felt profoundly through the success of her students. She teaches with a level of intentionality that is rare. Every lesson is purposeful, and her student data consistently reflects the high standards she sets. She proves every day that effective teaching isn't about the volume of one's voice, but the depth of one's dedication. Beyond the classroom, she's a vital source of positivity for the entire SMSA community. Whether she is offering a kind word to a struggling student or supporting a colleague, her heart for service is evident. She is the first to ask how she can help and the last one to seek credit for it. Perhaps most inspiring is her incredible strength during this past year. Even while navigating one of the most difficult personal chapters of her life, she continued to show up for her students with unwavering focus. She didn't just show up, she gave 100% of herself, never letting her own burdens dim the light she brings to her classroom. Her endurance and dedication serves as an exemplar for professionalism and grace. Ms. Bork is more than just an educator. She is an inspiration to her peers and a true asset to the students at SMSA. She embodies the resilience we hope to instill in our students, and she is deeply deserving of this recognition.
Okay, do we have any additions or deletions on the consent agenda items? Okay, none. Okay, on item G, remove items, I'm sorry. I messed up. I was supposed to go additions, deletions on the agenda item. Mr. Wilson's gonna remove
I'd
item
like to
5C.
remove item 5C from, and table item 5C, which is on the regular.
Okay, now, any additions or deletions from the consent agenda? Remove to discuss. None? Okay, moving on. We have a motion by Mr. Dodger, a second by Mr. Stelly for the consent agenda items. Please vote. Motion passed. Okay, we need a motion by, on the floor for the finance committee minutes. Motion by Mr. Botte, second by Mr. Fuselier. Please vote. Motion passed. Okay, next item is to receive an audit from Champagne and Company for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. Mr. Champagne and Mr. Scruggs, floor is yours.
Yes,
They have it.
yes,
They got it tonight.
yes.
Okay, thank you. As in years past, I will go over with y'all what I think are the major items covered in this year's audit. You should have each been given a copy of the audit report tonight. And Penny and I each gave y'all a handout before the meeting. The handout consists mostly of items that come directly out of the audit report with some things added at the end. And so we will go over that, the handout that I gave you earlier tonight. On the first page, it says the Montgomery Parish School Board financial report. Turn the page once past that, you'll see at the top of the page highlighted for you, independent auditor's report. And if you look at the second paragraph, that is the opinion paragraph on your audit for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. It is what's known as an unmodified, or in layman terms, clean audit opinion. So that's what you're hoping to get from us, and that's what you did get from us. So good job. And I must tell you, that's the most important thing we have to take. Because the most important thing is whether or not your audit report is considered unmodified and clean. Everything else matters, but this is the most important thing, so I'm going to stress that to you.
And this is a soft audit, right? It's a soft audit that we did.
What do you mean by soft audit?
Like you didn't check everything.
Oh, no, we did a normal audit. We follow standards, which are put out by the American Institute of CPAs. And so they require that we do certain things, certain testing and all that. We have guidelines that we have to follow. But no audit consists of checking of everything. You can have agreed upon procedures like special type audits that would do that.
Okay.
But not normal audits.
But if somebody knows of something, they can call you and tell you to check off certain things.
Yes, I mean, we can't field calls from everybody in the parish, but yes, and sometimes if there's things that are going on that don't seem proper, then typically that information will get to the auditors either we do interviews as part of your audit with people specifically about fraud or suspected fraud. And we will normally interview, someone very high up, almost always your head accounting person. And then we choose some people at random. It's proven over the years that sometimes the least likely person that you would think would know anything about the audit just sees something going on around the place that they tell you it seems strange, and that can lead to something. We're also notified by the Legislative Auditor's Office. They have a fraud hotline. So if somebody suspects anything is going on in an organization, they can contact that fraud hotline. And they will relay, the Legislative Auditor's Office relays that information directly to us so that we can look at things. Okay, turn a few pages, and if you look in the lower right-hand corner of your package, you should go all the way to page 1F. Everything before that is part of the audit report. We just have a couple of financial statements that I'd like to go over with you. I think there's 4 of them. On 1F is the statement of net position. This is all of the assets, all of the liabilities, all of your OPEB, which is a short term for the other post-employment benefits for you, and it mainly consists of health insurance for retirees, also your unfunded pension obligations, all of that together as of the last day of your fiscal year, June 30, 2025. Off to the right, we put in numbers that are not part of the audit report. They're from last year's audit report, so you could just see how they compare. Total assets were 205 million, this year 198. The deferred outflows of resources, which is typically has to do with your OPEB and your pension. Last year 36 million, this year 44 million. Total liabilities, last year 299, this year 280 million. Your deferred inflows, which is basically a deferred liability, last year 11 million, this year 26 million. And if you look at the very bottom number, your net position, last year a negative 70 million, this year negative 63. So you had a nice improvement this year over last year of that negative amount. Many of you were not here when some of these new items were implemented. But years ago, we were required to start booking liabilities for what's called unfunded pension liability and other post-employment benefits for your employees. That was an accounting standard, said that all governments had to follow. And that's when this statement of net position came about, and that's when these huge negative numbers came about. You've made really good progress since that time, but it was big numbers that had to be implemented all at one time. In my opinion, that should have been done years ago, years and years ago. If you recall, several years ago, there were some municipalities, parts of California and other areas that all of a sudden they weren't doing well financially, because you basically had unreported debt that these entities were eventually going to have to deal with. And when they required accountants to put them on the books, it made their numbers look bad. That's what you're still dealing with. The reason for the big negative is your pension and your OPEB liability. Make sense? Okay, next is page 1G. This is a statement of activities. And this one recognizes all of the revenues and expenditures of the school board for the fiscal year. Going across at the top is your expenses, at the bottom are your revenues. And you can see we put some numbers from last year's audit, so you can see like last year's taxes were 16 million, this year 16 million. That's property tax. Sales and use tax, 21 million last year, 22 million this year. And you can go on down the line. Your change in net position last year was a positive 1.2 million, this year positive 6.6 million. So a large improvement for you there. Okay. Pages 1H and 1I represent the old method, which is still part of what's reported to you. And I say old method before the implementation of GASB 34. So this is the looking at your numbers at the fund level, which is modified accrual basis. The new method, under GASB 34, is a full accrual basis. Again, here we dropped in some numbers for you in that first column for your general fund for June 24, and you can see right next to it is general fund June 25. Assets went from 43 to 42 million. Liabilities went from 12 to 14 million. Fund balance went from 31.2 to 28 million, so a decline there of about $3 million. And finally, if you look at the bottom right, I think it's bracketed, mine is, I hope yours is as well. We have on there, the school board has about 4.3 months of expenditures and fund balance in the general fund. This is something we've been tracking for a very, very long time for you, because you had gotten your fund balance down to a very low level years and years ago. We feel like the minimum balance you should have in there is 3 to 4 months. So you're right on target, you're actually a little bit ahead of target as to where we feel you need to be. Okay, next page is page 1I. Again, same format, June 24, June 25. Last year, revenue 64 million, this year 63.5 million. Expenditure 78, this year 77.9, so very, very similar. If you look at the fifth number from the bottom, net change in fund balance, a negative 1.1 million, last year negative 1.9 million. Two numbers below that says restatement of beginning fund balance. You have it?
Go ahead.
We're on page 1I, Mr. Pochet. So, occasionally, new accounting pronouncements are implemented that we have to follow. And in some cases, you have to actually go back and restate the prior year numbers. That's what happened here. There was a new accounting pronouncement. It's called GASB 101. It deals with compensated absences, which means time that your employees have worked and they basically have accumulated leave or sick time or vacation time or what have you. And before now, it was not recognized to this capacity on your financial statements. Now it is. So it caused your fund balance to go down by $2 million as of the first day of this fiscal year that we're reporting. It was required that we go back and restate it retroactively to the beginning of the fiscal year.
It's always been there, we just haven't acknowledged.
You haven't acknowledged it because it wasn't required. It was not required. It's a new standard, similar to what I explained about the OPEB and the pension.
Right.
Those are all new things. You couldn't have done anything different because it didn't exist. You were following accounting standards then, you're following them now, but the standards changed. Same thing with this. And that happens a lot. If you notice, it's GASB number 101. So it's far from being the first one. There's 100 before it. so this happens, and Penny and I, if those that don't know, Penny is our partner, she's Penny Scruggins, and she's been working this audit for decades like I have. And we talk about that, how when Gatsby 34, do you have any recollection what year that was?
1999.
She remembers stuff like that better than me. 1999, they were at they issued 34. So since 99, they've issued over 66, 67 of them. So they've increased it tremendously in that time period. And so therefore, every once in a while, we have changes to report to you because the standards change. I know some of that makes sense and some doesn't, but basically it's an impact on, I want to point that out to you because it's different than what you would ordinarily see. So I don't like to not show you those kinds of things that are different. Make sure you're aware of it. Again, it's nothing you did. It's just different rules. Okay, everybody good? So if you turn to from page 1J all the way through 1O, these are the summary of auditor's results, the findings, the recommendations, and I'm going to summarize it for you first, and if y'all want to go in more detail, we can. There's a lot of information there. I don't want to bore you. The first part, you see part 1, upper left-hand corner. This is a summary of auditor's results. That summary I'm going to tell to you this way. The summary of auditor's results are unmodified opinion, which is the first thing I went over with you. That says the most important thing. There's no internal control or compliance issues regarding your financial statements. There are internal control weaknesses dealing with your major programs. Major programs is used interchangeably with federal funds. So the issues that we had that have to be reported this year, your findings, are dealing with your federal funds. 4 out of 5. The 5th one is a management-led item, which has to do with misappropriation of funds by an ex-employee of yours that dates way back. And if you recall last year, Mark Boyer was able, I think it was last year, year before, right, Penny? When you did it, able to establish the garnishment on her wages. So you're collecting on that because it was outstanding for years and years. The first 4 items all have to do with federal funds, and it's issues that we came up with during our testing. We don't get every transaction, we do a whole lot of testing. Issues that came up that said federal funds were not spent properly in these 4 cases. And they range from small dollar amounts to bigger dollar amounts. And basically, that's a summation of it, federal award findings, and the findings related to federal awards need. And our recommendation is they either need to be implemented, your controls need to be implemented if there's none that exist, and those that do exist need to be studied and improved. Because for those items to have slipped through and been paid with the federal funds means they need to be improved. And that's the whole point of this, is you try to find where the weaknesses are and say, let's go correct, let's go enforce this. Let's enhance this. All of this has been gone over with Casey and with Mr. Wilkes in detail. And I'm happy to go over again as much detail as y'all want. And I mentioned the misappropriation update. That one is not considered a finding, it's a management-led item, not as serious, but it's a matter that needs to be followed up on every year.
Being that you're on the issue of findings, going through it randomly, I'm studying it. I find 2 findings that y'all didn't check into.
That we didn't look into? You find it in our report, you said?
Yes, sir. I didn't find it in your report.
Oh, there's 2 things you know about that we not reporting, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, number 1. Checks that's come back after it's been cashed to the bank. Board members, each board member should get at least 10 or 15 of those checks or whatever and sign those checks. That's part of the legislative process. Okay. Second of all, committee.
Wait, what is that? Explain that again? Each board member should do what?
Each members should get a copy of all checks that's returned back after being processed.
What do you,
should go over
The
those
checks
checks.
that like have cleared the bank.
Yeah, they should go over it and look through each check and make sure each check have been cashed or they don't exceed the.
Each board member.
It should come to the board.
Okay.
Those checks should come back to the board and they should look at it. You never look at that law. I believe that was passed probably about maybe 20 years ago.
Penny, familiar with this?
I know.
I'm not either.
I know,
10 or 20 years ago, you said?
yeah, I brought it up about 20 some years ago. Okay.
It's not a law that's maybe been,
Well,
superseded?
well, it probably,
'Cause
nobody goes.
I will tell you,
And then
we go to,
the next thing I noticed, like for the board and committee meetings. Okay, that's a law that says you have to have a board meeting, at least 3 or 4 times a year, committee meetings at least twice a year. But it doesn't show that the maintenance meeting. The state law states we also should have a maintenance meeting, and that's not being found.
We have an issue.
We have one in September.
Well, I'm just saying, he didn't put it in his report.
Have we had it?
We're supposed to have 2 per year.
No, one.
I
Two.
thought she had.
Look at the law.
She said every month we're supposed to do it.
No, 2. The Louisiana law says 2.
well, when
We
Ms.
understand
Vitale,
that he can.
when Ms. Vitale asked a question earlier about is it soft audit, and I said, and I asked what that meant, she said, do y'all look at everything? We don't.
No,
I mean, but if you think about it, if we were to look at every document that you produce, we'd be here year round. And that's not feasible. That's not how an audit works. And we follow the standards that are set by both the American Institute of CPAs and the legislative audit.
well, I know that you go through our board minutes.
Yes, we do.
I know that you go through our finance minute. Finance, at least
yeah,
one.
yeah.
You should go through our maintenance.
But I thought we saw maintenance. Do you recall seeing?
I'm just saying, I'm looking at it just that down.
I think we do see the maintenance as part of your board minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Next time.
All right.
I brought that up 20 years for the checks. Look into it.
Okay. Made a note of that, Penny?
I did.
Okay. All right.
You mentioned something about theft. What about the other thefts that happen? Are their checks getting garnished too or whatever?
I know we've had some other, I don't remember. There's been a few situations, and I don't know which one you'd be referring to. I'm sure we can't talk about it open meeting, but I know there's been some other times we had to look at things, but I don't know if anybody was ever, accused and sentenced to where it was such a finding where we had to follow up like this, and where dollar amounts were actually set. A lot of times when these things happen, there's proof that there's a problem, but not proof of, it's hard to prove exactly what took place, because evidence is missing. I don't know, that's one of the items you talked about. I know we've had others we've looked into. This is apparently the only one we're following up on.
I can answer that question if you would like. There's been a total of 3. One was completely paid off immediately. One is being garnished, and the third one was dismissed by the district attorney and never prosecuted.
So the garnishment is the one I have.
Yeah.
And the one that was dismissed, there's nothing to report. And what's the other one? It's
The
been paid.
other one was paid immediately when it
I
was.
think we had that on our last board meeting, in our packet.
Yes, there was no update to the,
Somebody was paying
Your
here.
time?
huh?
There was another one before.
Yeah, it was on the board back last month. Somebody was paying and they showed me with that seal.
Yeah.
Remember the fuel man court years ago? That's years ago.
Yeah, and there's a lot that's happened. I mean, I can't remember every incident over all the decades that we've been coming here, I can't, that's too much to remember.
But what? That was.
Because some of this stuff dates back a long time.
They didn't say what it was for.
When I mentioned earlier, we've been monitoring your fund balance, and I forget what year that was, and you might remember, I don't know. The total general fund balance was something like $53,000 or $57,000. They got so low. And that's when we started monitoring this every year. That dates back a long, long time.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? If not, we have some graphs to show you.
Yes, Ms. Wendy has them.
So it's the same 3 graphs that we look at every year with updated information, obviously. you can see here, here's your revenues by type. The biggest portion is green, which is your non-program grants. That's mostly MFP funding. The red one is your second largest, and it's taxes, all taxes, property sales, etc. Yellow is the program revenues, and those are mostly where your federal funds are reported. And then you have other of 4.2 million. The numbers are comparable to last year, but the MFP funding percentage, I believe, is down a bit. And the program revenues is up a bit. Okay, the next one should be expenditures. There you go. We have instruction, other support, and interest. And you can see by far the largest amount is instruction, 52%, other support at 45%. And then finally, the fund balance chart that I've touched on a few times already. You can see the different areas. We have red, which is reserved or assigned. We have green, which is committed, which is reserved, but it's self-reserved. It's not a required reserve. You have chosen to put that money aside. And then blue is the unreserved and unassigned portion. The committed one, the self-reserved, which is the green, I would expect based on some of the things that y'all have done in this current fiscal year, that part is gonna get smaller. Because I think, what's it referred to?
S&P, when we did our bond ratings, they are the ones that thought it was too restrictive based on our policy. So they recommended based on that policy to only hold 10% if I remember, and leave the other.
But what do y'all refer to that? It's like a rainy day fund. Is that what y'all call it?
Yes.
Economic stabilization.
There you go. So y'all have internally decided to change that. So I would imagine next year that graph's gonna look a bit different. Okay, any other questions that I might be able to answer for you? And
You said something about the pension. Can you explain it?
I can, go back to your financial statements. On page 1F. Look, about 2/3 down the page, you see total liabilities listed 280 million. You see that number? Look at the number right above it. Net pension liability, $79.997 million. That's the current pension liability that we have to recognize in your financial statement. So that's a liability, meaning it's reducing your net position. And again, that's nothing that you did. It's just based on this number, and the OPEB number are based on actuarial calculations. So your number is actually sent to actuarial people who give us the information needed to record on your financial statement.
What's the definition of
Other post-employment benefits. Other post-employment, so after you've employed, and it's basically health insurance for retirees. That's basically what it is. And if you look at that number right above it, that's 95 million. So those two numbers alone, that's 180 million almost, so therefore the big negatives at the bottom.
pensions are good and everything, but boy, they're affordable. I mean, they're expensive.
Yeah. And the organizations that we found that hit the hardest, which makes sense, is those with a lot of employees. Our school board, our sheriff clients have a lot of employees, so that it hit them hard as well. Some of the smaller entities who don't have a lot of employees, it wasn't as big a deal for them to implement this. But those with a lot of employees, it really made a change in your financial statements. And then if you notice, below pension liability and below total liabilities, we have deferred income. The first one, deferred amount on pension. So that's another, it's reported different because we have to, but it basically is another liability that you have to record. And right below it is an additional amount for OPEB of 22 million. Years ago, when this new financial reporting style came about, we were told that the purpose was to make it easier to understand. And I laughed, then I'm still laughing. Because I don't think they hit their mark on that. It's hard to explain this stuff, you know? But that's it. Basically, the unrecorded amounts are right there. Those four numbers. Now, if you look at the top, where it says deferred outflows of resources, the pension and the OPEB is 23 and 20 million. So you have to net all of that to get a true picture of where am I at this point in time.
And what happens if your fund balance keeps going down and down?
Then you'd have to find, you have to do one or two things
What's
at that point. But your fund balance is not, your fund balance did go down this year. But this statement doesn't have a fund balance. It has a statement of net position. You've actually improved it this year by about 6 or 7 million.
And
Yeah, a
how
lot.
did we do that?
How?
Uh-huh.
You know, a big part of that has to do with those numbers we just talked about, those huge numbers.
Uh-huh.
And if they flip from one side to the other, then that affects that number. And I think that was the main cause this year. It's your actuarial calculations basically cause that change. So it's nothing you did or didn't do, it's just calculations done based on your pension and your OPEB.
Any other board members have any
But
questions?
the bottom line on this statement did well. On your fund statement, I said it did go down about 3 million. And what happens if it keeps going down, was your question.
Yeah.
If it keeps going down, then I will be recommending to you that you either find a way to increase revenue or decrease expenses, because that's the only things you can do. And you have to do one or the other or both. But I don't think you're at a panic stage, because you remember,
should be doing something though, right?
you should be thinking about it. Like, you're still good now. You remember, if you go back to page 1H, I mentioned you have 4.3 months of expenditures. You're good right now. But if you keep, you know, basically fund balance gets a hit of $3 million a year, it won't be good for forever. So yes, it is something, and that's why we always go over it. You to be aware of it. Where are we? What do we need to do? You can't wait till you're in a bind to take action.
That's on us, Juan.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh, I definitely know that.
Mr. Julie?
See, when you and I got on the board, we had to do a reduction in force because we were going the wrong way. And then we brought everything back up over the years that we've been on the board. That's Richard, you know,
I got on board, we were $2 million
in the hole.
$1,400 pay cut. We just came there blindsided and cut, we start from the top.
That, yeah, at
This
some
time we
point,
start from the bottom.
at some point, it's just like running a business. It is a big business, and you have to make decisions accordingly. You can't survive forever if you keep losing money.
That new board next year gonna come in and make some cuts.
Reduction in force.
Or that new board gonna, cause they ain't on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? I do want to say it was a pleasure to work with y'all. We had full cooperation from your staff, Mr. Wills. It went very well. We did some pre-planning meetings the last couple of years, and I find those have been very beneficial. I would think y'all would agree. They seem to have helped a lot. We come in and we meet with your key people and we do some planning well before the audit time. It seems to have worked well. But pleasure to work with y'all.
On that, what I asked, you wanna let me know?
Yes? Yeah.
You getting got over, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you know. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Shelby, thank you, Mr. Rugged.
Thank you all.
And thank you, staff.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, 5B, consider and approve request for consideration to allow 3 high schools to transition to block scheduling for the 26-27 school year. Mr. Dugas.
Everybody should have received a handout that kind of details our reasoning for requesting a shift back to block scheduling is actually something that was discussed towards the end of last school year to do for this school year, but it was too late in the year. We felt to bring it from the board. However, it's still something that we feel overall will benefit the high schools, especially as you'll see, the state has changed the accountability model now. So high schools are going to be graded more specifically on assessments, whereas in the past we had a lot more leeway to kind of, I won't say inflate our scores, but to keep our scores at a, B level, A level. But that's changed now. We also wanted some court mandates for RTIs, just-in-time tutoring, that the traditional 7-period day makes it more challenging for the high schools to meet those mandates. You see the faculties are in support of making a switch. One of the things that will be advantageous for us to switch now is all 3 high schools are participating in a scheduling boot camp that's through the State Department. We were supposed to have a meeting, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but the cold weather came through, so that meeting got canceled. It got rescheduled to February 24th, so we'll be starting that very soon. The one thing though, that I think before we even discuss anything else, that's critical for us to be able to switch to block scheduling is, in the past, when we were on block scheduling, the board provided us with 2 extra teachers at each high school so we could meet the scheduling demands that block has. It would be, we have to get, y'all approval to provide that for us. Again, one of the things though, to point out is we're one of the few districts that count our counselors as instructional staff members.
Why do we do that?
I have no idea. I don't know. It's always been that way, so I don't know.
I showed that a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Can we?
I know Iberia doesn't, most districts around us do not, so.
Can we, as action staff, to visit that and come back with an answer for that? Just kind of see, because I've heard several
It's been
complaints.
as long as I've been here.
I think we should have an educated meeting, because certainly, most board members don't know the pros and cons. I can look up, because I was, definitely I know the pros and cons about block scheduling. So you might want to bring that up to board members so they can eyeball these situations. Because, when you go into block scheduling, it can go either which way. And if you have the whole complete staff, high school principals, and, at least 55, 60% with you on that, it's gonna run idea. If the individuals, teachers, principal, not excited to do block scheduling, then
right. They can speak up if they would like.
So that would
If you look at the paper, it does say that Cecilia Brobridge had about 80% of faculty that were in favor of it. San Juanville was 76.
Right.
If you also want to look at it from a student standpoint of view, if you look at it right now, a student is in high school 4 years. So 4 times 7 is 28, because they earn 7 credits per year if they pass everything. But if we go to a 4x4 block, now they have an opportunity to earn 32 credits.
Right.
So it gives them an opportunity to
Exactly.
get more
I
credits.
know about
Right.
that, but most board members don't know that. Right now, we get 6 currently a year. By schedule, 8.
Right.
I know all that.
Plus you can't wait.
All that.
Teachers could probably be better.
Right. And that's part of, one of the other reasons is that, we may be able to recruit a few. I know Iberia is talking about switching, not next school year, but the following year. One of the things that the state's also done is change the English and the math test for high school, so it's no longer an EOC, it's no longer an course test for English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, and Geometry. It's a 10th grade comprehensive test now, so every 10th grader, once they're in 10th grade, even if they never take Geometry and never take English 2, they have to take those comprehensive tests. And block scheduling just allows us to get a lot of that,
Because they already has a question for you.
When did we get away from block scheduling?
2020, I think it was 21-22 school year when we switched back to
All
the,
three schools?
oh, yeah, all three.
That's the way it is. We learned that.
You know, the data, just looking at the data, the scores, for English didn't really change, significantly, in math when we were on block because now in the old accountability model, we would get credit for like, basic, now it's that it's all proficiency now. So now it's all mastery above, for the achieve component of the, accountability model. So it's important that we get our kids up to mastery now. And I think just having, the opportunity with block scheduling could probably give us a better advantage. I mean, the scores didn't really change much for English, compared to the 7th period day. For math, though, we did see better achievement when we were on block than we did in the years we've been on the 7th period day. Yes, sir.
What happens if we cannot find the extra teachers?
I will find them. We find them.
Oh, yeah, you go
It's
find
just trying to find the right teachers. That's what we need more than anything. And I think sometimes, having block scheduling could attract, some certified teachers to it because it's, it's less prep.
They get
a long time here.
off instead of 1 hour.
There's challenges on each campus that,
Okay, I got a question for you. Would you like to make a motion with that? Years ago, we had the 2 added teachers also.
Per high school.
For high school, yes. Do you want to make it with that motion?
I'd like to see us look at the counselors, counting the counselors. If you don't count the counselors, we don't need the extra teachers.
Right, yeah. Right, it's just the MSP formula that we just say.
Right. Well, I mean, there's that, plus I would also say, are the librarians still counting?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's another.
I wouldn't make a motion today. Let some board members listen to pros and cons. Because why did we get out of that in 2000?
What is the major advantage of that?
We have an education committee meeting coming up next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go into more details about it. It's just, we're starting scheduling in the high school now, so that's what makes it kind of critical. To make the decision.
No, I mean, that, we can give the information next week, but we kind of need to.
We just need to have an idea of, what direction, we need to head.
Ms. Yuzek?
So on block, you'll give teachers more time in one sitting to work with students. Right now, in a 52-minute period, you're looking at a warm-up, you're looking at a lesson presentation, maybe answers to homework. So it doesn't guide practice, small period of time. So within 52 minutes, it is very quick, very disciplined, very structured. There's not much time for teachers to work one-on-one with kids at that time. We do have a 30-minute period that allows for teachers to work separately with those students, but it's 30 minutes. When kids get in and get out on a high school campus, it could be 20 to 30 kids in that session. So the block will give more time at one sitting for teachers to work with students. It gives them time to provide individual instruction.
The bottom line is we want to give the students what's best. But we had an original motion by Mr. Clay to make a motion to pass it. Then do we have a second?
To pass it?
Yeah, we have a second by Mr. Stelly, but then we have also a table to, motion by Ms. Vital to the table.
So we get if not, and we can tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why we got out of it. 2015, 20 years ago.
Just go listen to the.
2021.
Do we have a second to the table?
I say,
So we have a second.
until we hear, pros and cons.
So we have a motion on the floor to table, second by Ms. Vital, second by Mr. Boucher. Please vote.
How fast we need
The table.
Hold up.
Yeah,
The table?
schedule, no, pull up the scheduling. I guess he's gonna ask a question about scheduling, right?
How fast we need an answer?
Needs to be as quick as possible.
We're already
If
behind.
you have an
on
education
the
committee
reading,
meeting,
But then we still
bring the
have to bring it
information
to
to
the
the
board
education
and
committee
then
meeting,
more.
then the following meeting we can vote on.
Is next meeting,
That puts him in.
next meeting soon enough?
No, we can do it after the education committee meeting.
You have
could-
four.
Oh,
or
yeah,
five?
You can close the meeting.
You'd have to do a special meeting after the education meeting to. vote
I'm
on
good
it.
with it. Yeah. We have a special meeting after the education meeting.
We typically have already started scheduling in January. We typically have met with our counselors and we've already started their scheduling and training there in January. So if we push it back to March, that puts us back 2 more months.
Why didn't we wait this late before we brought it up?
I mean, like I said, we were trying to,
Just brought it up in January, before January.
Yeah.
get with the state for that scheduling, because we want to make sure we're doing the right thing for our kids and everything, and that we had some, not necessarily disagreements, but I know St. Margaret was considering doing something more like a modified block, so we want to make sure that.
I know the court is something, but I've been, you know.
So
What you need to know, Mr. Walker.
I mean, can we talk about the financial implication of it? That's at least $350,000 at a minimum, at a low average teacher salary.
You know, there's a reason.
But what we're doing is cheating our kids out of teacher-pupil ratio in their classrooms, because we're counting counselors that don't, they can't be added to a master schedule. They don't, you understand what I'm saying? Where
Y'all just
everybody
see the
around
financial
us.
report where our unassigned balance is negative. Guys, we've got to make some changes. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong thing to do, but you're gonna have to cut somewhere else. We're already at a $2 million deficit.
Too many people talking. Do guy have a question?
Let's start. I agree. Let's start.
Okay.
They're behind schedule.
So we have a motion on the floor to table, let's vote, if you don't want it, okay, no table. No table, okay, let's go back to the original motion with Mr. Clay to accept block scheduling. Also for staff to look at guidance counselors, libraries, or possibly adding 2 teachers, and that portion of it will come back to the board for a vote. But as of now, we're basically voting on to accept or decline block scheduling. Right now, it's for block scheduling. We have a motion on the floor by Mr. Clay, second by Mr. Stelp. Please vote. Motion passed. Okay, need a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Mr. Boti, second by Mr. Clay. All in favor by saying aye. Aye. John first. All right.
That's Title I person that we didn't have a time turtle on. Because it was supposed to be general funds and there was some cross communication.
by Mr. Boogie, second by Mr. Later, come out of executive session. All in favor? Okay. First item pertains to student aid. As of now, we have staff recommendation to follow.
Student aid, I'd like to, make a recommendation that we follow the same procedure we followed at the last board meeting on, a particular, kid, where we given approximately 20 days. Follow the same recommendation.
You want me to say what it was?
It was the
Yes.
same,
He
please.
changed it to change her review to 20 days instead of 9.
Yes.
So Mr. Poche has a motion on the floor to change the policy from staff recommendation to the policy to go from 20 days to
The review, change her review to 20 days.
The
20
review.
days.
So she'll have a review at 20.
At 20.
They can get the same punishment.
Motion by Mr. Poche, second by Ms. Wanda. Please vote.
Frederick left.
Oh, mine,
Right.
mine not working. I see, yes.
Okay, the motion passed. Because Mr. Sellers said, Mr. Poche said yes. Okay, student B, we have, as of now, we have staff recommend, to follow staff's recommendation. Do we have any motions on the floor?
I'm making a motion, we follow the staff recommendation.
We have a motion by Mr. Clay, second by Mr. Dodger to follow staff's recommendation. Please vote. Motion passed.
I vote no.
You voted no. Mr. Poche votes no.
I vote no.
And Ms. Johnson voted no. This motion still passes. We have a motion to adjourn. By Mr. Poche, second by Mr. Clay. All in favor, please say aye. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was, I was all up in, concentrating.